Beloved souls, let us enter into the sacred atmosphere of prayer, not as beggars seeking what we lack, but as children awakening to what has already been given. True prayer is not a cry of desperation. It is the gentle recognition that God has already finished His work. All that we desire is already present in the unseen, awaiting our acceptance. When we thank God, we declare the work complete. Gratitude is not a polite courtesy, it is the language of fulfillment. To say thank you from the heart is to proclaim that what we once longed for is now real within us. In that moment, the unseen blessing takes form in the realm of our awareness, and soon the outer world must bow to that inner conviction. Prayer is communion. It is not endless words, but the still assurance that what we imagine in love and faith is the voice of God speaking through us. When you close your eyes and dare to feel yourself in possession of the answered prayer, you have already touched eternity. You have entered into union with the divine. We are not waiting for blessings to descend from the sky. We are awakening to the blessings already flowing through us. The eternal present is the only place where God dwells, and it is here, in this very moment, that the fullness of life is accessible. Every dream fulfilled, every prayer answered, every healing complete. It all exists now. Let our prayer be stillness. Let our prayer be thanksgiving. Let our prayer be the acceptance of the truth that what we desire is already ours. And as we rise from that inner sanctuary, let us walk as though it were done, because in truth it is done. Beloved, gratitude is the magnet of miracles. To live in thankfulness is to live in the rain of blessings. When we thank God before the evidence appears, the evidence cannot resist appearing. This is the law of faith, the law of creation, the law of life itself. So let us pray now, not with restless hearts, but with joyful assurance. Father, I thank you that you have already heard me. I thank you that it is finished. I thank you that the fullness of life, health, wealth, peace, and love is already mine. And as we give thanks, the blessing unfolds. Prayer is often misunderstood as an act of pleading or begging before God, hoping that He might look down with favor and grant a request. But in truth, prayer is not asking, it is aligning. It is the gentle turning inward to recognize that everything we seek is already provided. The eternal source has finished His work from the foundation of the world, and every blessing we long for already exists in the invisible. Prayer then is the sacred act of aligning our thoughts, feelings, and awareness with what has already been given. To pray rightly is to step into a state of inner agreement with God's abundance. When we pray with the belief that we lack, we strengthen the sense of lack within us. But when we pray with the conviction that the gift has already been placed in our hands, we raise our awareness to meet it. This is why the truest form of prayer is thanksgiving. Gratitude declares, "It is already mine." In this shift of consciousness, we no longer reach outward but turn inward, recognizing that the answer lives in us, waiting to be expressed. Think of prayer as a tuning fork. When struck, it vibrates at a certain frequency. If another instrument nearby shares that frequency, it too will begin to resonate. Likewise, when we hold within us the feeling of our desire fulfilled, Our entire being resonates with that state, and the outer world harmonizes with it. We are not trying to force God to move, we are aligning ourselves to the vibration of what is already complete in Him. Prayer is communion, not communication. It is not about informing God of our needs, for He already knows. It is about aligning with His eternal provision. When you sit in stillness and feel the reality of your prayer as accomplished, you have entered into oneness with the divine. In that moment, you are no longer separate from the blessing. You are living in it. And the more real this inner state becomes to you, the more quickly the outer world must reflect it back to you. This is why imagination and feeling are central to prayer. The moment you imagine yourself in possession of your desire and you feel the joy of its fulfillment, you have already touched the reality of it. It exists now in the unseen, and prayer anchors it within your awareness. From that point, you need not ask again, for asking would imply it is still absent. Instead, you remain aligned, resting in the assurance that the unseen will soon take form. True prayer is a shift in identity. It is moving from the self who longs to the self who has. It is stepping out of the state of waiting and into the state of receiving. And once you align with the truth that all is already given, your life becomes a testimony of answered prayer. For the outer must always mirror the inner, and the one who aligns in faith will surely walk in blessings made visible. Gratitude is far more than a polite response or a social virtue. It is a spiritual act of completion, a declaration that the blessing you once desired is now yours. To thank God is to stand in the reality of fulfillment, not in the hope of future provision. Gratitude does not wait until the outer evidence arrives. It begins in the unseen, where all creation is finished. The moment you say thank you with sincerity and faith, you have stepped into possession of the gift. Many approach gratitude as a reaction, expressing thanks only after something good has been received. Yet true gratitude is not a reaction, it is a cause. It is the very power that magnetizes blessings into form. When you thank God before your eyes can see the answer, you are acknowledging that the answer already exists. You are saying, I have it now, even if the world has not yet caught up to that truth. This is the kind of gratitude that opens doors, softens obstacles, and accelerates manifestation. Gratitude works because it changes your state of being. It shifts you from longing to having, from waiting to receiving. When you dwell in lack, your energy and focus affirm that something is missing. But when you live in gratitude, your entire being resonates with abundance. You begin to carry yourself as one who is already blessed, and life mirrors that consciousness back to you in countless ways. Imagine holding a prayer in your heart. If you continually beg for it, you declare that you do not yet have it. But the moment you say, "Thank you, Father, for already granting this," you place yourself in alignment with the answer. Gratitude seals the prayer. It is the final stroke that completes the picture. It says the matter is settled, the blessing is secure, and the manifestation is inevitable. Gratitude also expands what you receive. A thankful heart multiplies blessings because it recognizes them even in their seed form. When you see small signs of answered prayer and give thanks for them, you water the seed with appreciation and it grows into a harvest. Ingratitude, on the other hand, stifles growth, for it overlooks the present blessing while demanding another. But the one who lives in gratitude will never run dry, for they are tuned to the frequency of abundance. This is why the greatest masters of faith lived in thanksgiving. They did not wait for evidence before expressing thanks. Their gratitude was a testimony of trust, a declaration that the invisible was as real as the visible. And inevitably, what they gave thanks for appeared, because the universe responds to the heart that already knows it is blessed. So let gratitude be your constant prayer. Wake each morning with thanks, as though everything you desire has already unfolded. Walk through your day with a heart of completion, knowing that the blessing is already yours in spirit and therefore must become yours in form. Gratitude is not the end of the journey, it is the fulfillment itself. To thank God is to stand in the promise realized, the prayer answered, the blessing secure. Imagination is not a mere daydream or idle fancy. It is the sacred place where man communes with God. It is the inner sanctuary where desires are conceived, shaped, and clothed in feeling until they emerge into the outer world as lived experiences. To imagine is to enter into communion with the infinite, for whatever you accept within the realm of imagination is received by the deeper self as truth. And what is accepted inwardly must eventually appear outwardly. Every creation begins first as an image within. Nothing in this world can manifest without first being pictured and felt in consciousness. The clothes you wear, the house you live in, the very life you experience, all were once imagined, whether consciously or unconsciously. Imagination is the workshop of creation, and feeling is the seal that makes the imagined real. It is not enough to merely think of something, you must feel it, as though it were already yours. Feeling gives life to the image, and the image, once alive, begins to shape the world around you. This is why imagination is true communion. When you close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire, you are not playing a game. You are entering into dialogue with God, who hears through the language of feeling. The moment you feel the joy, the relief, or the peace of already having what you long for, you have touched the divine. You have declared to the unseen, "This is my reality," and the unseen responds by arranging the outer world to reflect it. Think of the times when fear or worry took hold of you. You imagined unfavorable outcomes, and with feeling you rehearsed them in your mind. Soon, circumstances appeared that confirmed those fears. This is the negative use of imagination, yet it proves the same law. What you inwardly accept in feeling becomes your lived reality. If this is true of fear, how much more powerful it is when applied with faith, love, and gratitude. To imagine rightly is to assume the state of the answered prayer. If you desire abundance, you must not imagine yourself as one in lack, waiting and hoping. Instead, you see yourself already provided for, already enjoying the richness of life, and you feel the contentment of that fulfillment. This inner acceptance becomes a communion so deep that you no longer seek outward proof, you already know it is done. Imagination is not escape from reality, it is the foundation of reality. The world you see outside is only the shadow of what humanity has collectively imagined within. To change your world, you must first change the images you hold and the feelings you nurture. When you discipline your imagination to dwell only on what is lovely, pure, and already fulfilled, you walk in unbroken communion with God, for you and He are creating together. Cherish your imagination. Guard it carefully, for it is the meeting place of heaven and earth. When you inwardly accept with feeling the life you desire, you have already communed with the divine, and your outer world has no choice but to bow to that vision. Imagination is not fantasy, it is creation, and creation is communion with the very heart of God. Faith is often misunderstood as a patient waiting for something to arrive in the future. But true faith is not waiting, it is knowing. It is the awareness that all blessings exist in the eternal present, and nothing is withheld from us except by our own refusal to see. The moment you place your desire in the future, you separate yourself from it. You declare, "It is not mine yet," and in doing so, you push it further away. But when you step into faith in the now, you realize that everything you could ever want already exists here, in this timeless moment. The eternal present is God's dwelling place. God is not in yesterday or tomorrow, but in the eternal I am. This I am is your own awareness of being. When you declare with faith, "I am healed, I am prosperous, I am loved," you are not making a wish for a future event. You are affirming the eternal truth of who you are in this moment. And because the outer world must eventually conform to the state you occupy within, the blessing becomes visible in your lived experience. Faith in the now requires a shift in perspective. It calls you to abandon the habit of waiting and to step into the boldness of having. Many spend their lives hoping for tomorrow, praying for someday, but tomorrow never comes. There is only now. When you feel yourself already in possession of your desire, you collapse the illusion of time and enter the reality where the blessing already exists. The outer manifestation is simply the shadow that follows. Think of a seed planted in the soil. The tree exists within the seed now, not in the future. Though your eyes cannot yet see its branches, its reality is already present in invisible form. So too are your blessings. Faith does not say, "One day I will see it." Faith says, "It is mine now." And because it is mine now, it must unfold. This inner knowing becomes the bridge that carries the unseen into the seen. Living in faith in the now transforms how you walk through life. Instead of approaching God as a distant giver, you commune with Him as a present reality. You no longer pray from longing, but from fulfillment, saying with gratitude, "Father, I thank you that it is already so." This confidence releases all anxiety and striving, for you are no longer chasing after blessings, you are resting in them. When you embody faith in the now, the future bends to your state of being. The people, circumstances, and opportunities that seem far off begin to arrange themselves in alignment with your inner conviction. The outer world is compelled to echo the inner state. What was once distant appears close. What seemed impossible becomes natural. And what you once waited for greets you in the present. Live now as though every prayer were already answered. Feel now as though every desire were already fulfilled. For in truth, they are. All creation is finished, and all blessings exist in the eternal present. Faith is not waiting, it is awakening. And when you awaken, you discover that you already stand in the garden of answered prayers. Stillness is not emptiness, it is the doorway through which we receive. In the noise of the outer world, we often search for answers, guidance, and blessings, yet the true voice of creation whispers from within. To receive through stillness is to quiet the clamor of the senses, to withdraw attention from appearances, and to listen to the inner word that shapes reality. The outer world is but a reflection, a shadow cast by the movements of the inner life. When the inner is stilled, purified, and focused, the outer must follow. Most people believe that striving, effort, or constant repetition brings results. But it is not the frantic activity of the mind that creates, it is the calm acceptance of the inner word. When you still yourself and enter into that sacred silence, you step into the creative workshop of God. It is in that silence where images are impressed, where feelings are accepted, and where prayers are answered. You need not wrestle with circumstances or argue with appearances. Quiet the senses and let the truth of your desire be spoken within. In stillness, imagination becomes alive. With closed eyes and a restful heart, you can hear the inner word more clearly than the voices of the outer world. That word may come as an image, a scene, a feeling of peace, or a simple knowing that it is done. Whatever form it takes, when you accept it in the stillness, it becomes the seed of manifestation. The seed does not grow in noise or haste. It grows in the quiet soil of belief. Consider how often the outer senses deceive. You may see lack, feel limitation, or hear words of doubt. But in stillness, you withdraw from those false reports and turn your gaze inward. There you see abundance, you feel fulfillment, you hear the word of completion. The outer world will eventually conform, but it cannot lead. The inner word must always speak first. Stillness is not passive, it is powerful. It is not about doing nothing, but about resting in the assurance that all is done. When you enter that silence and allow yourself to feel the reality of your answered prayer, you shift your state of being. That shift is the true act of receiving. You need not chase blessings. They are drawn to the still heart that has already received within. The greatest transformations often happen not in the noise of effort, but in the quiet moments of surrender. A few minutes of true stillness can do more for your life than hours of restless worry. In that silence, you commune with the divine. You move beyond the world of appearances and step into the eternal truth, where every desire is already fulfilled. Where every desire is already fulfilled. So, when you seek to receive, go within. Turn off the noise, silence the doubts, close the eyes, and listen. The inner word is speaking. Accept it as reality. Feel it as already accomplished. Then rise from that stillness, not with desperation, but with quiet confidence. For what has been received within must in time appear without. The outer world has no choice but to echo the word spoken in stillness. To live in the fulfillment of your desire is the highest form of faith. It is not to wait for evidence before rejoicing, but to walk now as though the prayer were already answered. When you live as though it is done, you step into the state of the blessing itself, and life must rearrange to reflect it. The unseen responds to the posture of your being, and the one who assumes fulfillment inwardly will surely experience it outwardly. Many confuse faith with hope. Hope looks to the future, always expecting but never arriving. Faith, however, is fulfillment. It declares that the future is already here. To live in the fulfillment means you no longer identify yourself with longing or lack. You think, feel, and act as one who already possesses what was once only desired. This shift in identity is the secret. For as long as you see yourself as one waiting, you will wait. But when you accept yourself as one who has, you open the door for the world to mirror that state back to you. Living in the fulfillment is not about pretending or forcing belief. It is about dwelling in the inner conviction that what you desired is already yours. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself in the scene of fulfillment, and you feel the joy, the relief, or the peace of that reality, you have already entered into the state. The key is not to leave it behind when you rise, but to carry it into your daily life. Speak, walk, and think from that state, and it will become the atmosphere you breathe. Consider a person who has prayed for healing. If they continue to act as one unwell, dwelling in fear and expectation of sickness, they live in contradiction to their own prayer. But if they live in fulfillment, speaking as one whole, feeling as one strong, moving as one free, they step into the state of health, and the body follows. The same is true in every area of life. The fulfillment you embody inwardly eventually becomes the experience you encounter outwardly. The outer world has no choice but to conform to the inner assumption. Living in fulfillment is the law of creation applied. You do not wait for conditions to change before you change your state. You change your state, and the conditions adjust themselves. You act not from the desire to make it happen, but from the certainty that it already has. This way of living also frees the heart from anxiety. You no longer chase after blessings or measure time with frustration because you know you already hold the gift within. Gratitude becomes natural, peace becomes constant, and joy flows without effort. Life ceases to be a struggle of pursuit and becomes a dance of unfolding. To live in fulfillment is to declare it is done. It is to inhabit the finished work and rest in its reality. And as you do, the shadow world of appearances must eventually align. For the one who lives in the state of the answered prayer will surely walk in the blessing made visible. Beloved, prayer is not a cry into the distance, nor is it a plea for what is missing. It is the recognition of completion, the quiet acceptance that God has already provided all that we could ever need. To thank Him is to stand in the fullness of His abundance. To imagine with faith is to commune with His creative power. To rest in stillness is to hear the word that shapes worlds. And to live in fulfillment is to walk as though every prayer were already answered, because in truth they are. When we align inwardly, when we clothe our desires with gratitude and faith, the outer world has no choice but to reflect that state. Every blessing, every miracle, every answered prayer is already here in the eternal present. Our task is not to strive or to wait, but to awaken and receive. So let us go forth with thankful hearts, with imaginations alive, with faith rooted in the now. Let us live as though the blessing were already ours, for in the unseen it is already complete, and as we live in that awareness, the invisible will become visible, and life will reveal its hidden treasures in ways more beautiful than we could ever plan. Say thanks, closing line. Thank you for listening, and may each of you walk in the joy of answered prayer, the peace of stillness, and the overflowing blessings that are already yours.
Beloved listener, let us journey into the sacred art of manifestation. Many have sought the answer to a simple yet profound question: how can I bring my desires to fruition quickly? The answer lies not in labor, nor in the approval of the world around you, but in the quiet, powerful workings of your inner world. The understanding that you are the creator of your reality is one of the most transformative realizations a person can have. It shifts you from feeling like a passive participant in life to recognizing your immense power as the architect of your experience. Life is not something that happens to you, it is something that unfolds through you. Every thought, feeling, and belief within you is a seed, and the reality you perceive is the harvest of those seeds. This principle is not just a comforting notion, it is the foundation of the creative process that governs the universe. Everything begins in the mind. The reality you experience is a reflection of the state of consciousness you occupy. If you look around and see lack, struggle, or discord, it is because, at some level, those elements exist within you. Similarly, if you observe abundance, joy, and harmony, it is because you have cultivated those states internally. The external world acts as a mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you the contents of your inner world. This is not a matter of blame but of empowerment. When you understand that you are the source of your reality, you also realize that you have the power to change it. Imagination is the key to creation. It is the divine faculty through which all things are made. Consider the great achievements of humankind, the towering skyscrapers, the intricate works of art, the breakthroughs in science and technology. Each began as a vision in someone's mind. Before they were tangible realities, they existed as ideas, nurtured and believed in until they took form. You have access to this same creative power. Your imagination is not a mere tool for idle daydreaming, it is the workshop of creation, the place where you shape the world to your liking. Alone is not enough. For your creative power to take effect, you must marry your thoughts with emotion. It is not enough to think of what you want, you must feel it. Feelings are the language of the subconscious mind, and it is your subconscious that drives your reality. When you feel as though your desire is already fulfilled, you align yourself with its vibration. In that alignment, the universe moves to bring your desire into being. The feeling is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the intangible and the tangible. Doubt and fear are the greatest obstacles to this process. When you allow these feelings to dominate your mind, you create resistance. It is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it has grown. Trust is essential. Trust that the process works, trust that your desires are valid, and trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor. This trust is not passive, it is an active state of faith, a confident knowing that what you have imagined is already on its way to you. The circumstances of your life, no matter how fixed they may seem, are not permanent. They are but the outpicturing of your past states of mind. If you do not like what you see, you have the power to change it. Change begins within. Instead of focusing on what is, turn your attention to what could be. Instead of dwelling on lack, cultivate a sense of abundance. Instead of worrying about the future, nurture feelings of peace and confidence. This is not escapism, it is the deliberate act of creating a new reality. One of the most empowering aspects of this truth is that it works universally and without exception. It does not matter who you are, where you come from, or what your current circumstances are. The laws of creation apply equally to all. The same process that brings wealth to one person can bring it to another. The same principles that foster love in one life can foster it in yours. The universe is impartial, responding not to your status or past actions, but to the vibration you emit in the present moment. Responsibility is a crucial part of this understanding. To accept that you are the creator of your reality is to take full responsibility for your life. This does not mean blaming yourself for every hardship, but recognizing that you hold the power to respond and transform. Even in situations that seem beyond your control, you have the ability to choose how you perceive and react to them. This choice is your power. When you respond with faith, hope, and creativity, you shift the energy around you, opening the door to new possibilities. There are no limits to what you can create, except those you impose upon yourself. Often, people believe they are bound by their circumstances, their upbringing, or their perceived weaknesses. But these are illusions. The only true limitation is the one you accept as real. When you release these false beliefs and step into the awareness of your creative power, the world opens up to you. You are not here to live a life of mediocrity or struggle. You are here to express the fullness of your being, to create, to thrive, and to experience the joy of bringing your visions to life. The journey of creation is one of self-discovery. As you become more conscious of your thoughts and feelings, you gain insight into who you truly are. You begin to see that your essence is not separate from the source of creation itself. You are not a small, powerless being adrift in a chaotic world. You are a spark of the divine, endowed with the ability to shape reality through the power of your mind and heart. To know that you are the creator of your reality is to awaken to your true potential. It is to step out of the role of victim and into the role of master. Life will always present challenges, but when you understand your creative power, you face them with confidence, knowing that you have the ability to transform any situation. This truth is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life. Embrace it, live it, and watch as the world transforms before your very eyes. To manifest the life you desire, there is a profound yet simple principle you must understand. You must feel as if your desire is already fulfilled. The essence of creation lies not in the act of longing or hoping, but in embodying the state of having. This principle transcends mere wishful thinking. It is the deliberate act of aligning your inner world with the reality you wish to experience. In doing so, you shift your vibration, drawing your desires into your life effortlessly and naturally. The act of feeling it as if it's already done requires you to bypass the physical senses. What your eyes see, your ears hear, and your hands touch are reflections of your past assumptions. They are not the arbiters of what is possible. If you rely solely on your senses to validate your desires, you will remain trapped in the loop of what already exists. Instead, you must turn inward, using your imagination and emotions to construct a new reality. Imagination is the gateway to creation. When you visualize your desire, do so with vivid clarity. See yourself living in the house you desire, driving the car you dream of, or experiencing the love you long for. But do not stop at the visual. Feel the joy, the excitement, the peace that comes with having it. Engage all your senses in this inner experience. If it is a home you want, imagine walking through its rooms, feeling the texture of the furniture, and hearing the sounds of the space. Make it real within you, for this inner reality is the seed of your outer reality. Feeling is the language of the subconscious mind, and it is your subconscious that holds the power to shape your life. Words alone carry little weight if they are not accompanied by feeling. To say, "I am wealthy," while feeling poor, is to send conflicting signals to your subconscious. It is the feeling behind the words that determines the outcome. When you genuinely feel as if you are already wealthy, your subconscious accepts this as truth and works tirelessly to bring it into manifestation. This process requires a deep trust in the unseen. The physical world may show no immediate evidence of your desires, but this is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that the seed is germinating. Trust that your inner work is creating shifts in the unseen realms. The moment you feel your desire as real, it begins to take form. The time it takes to materialize depends on your persistence and faith in the process. Many struggle with this principle because they allow doubt and fear to creep in. They look around and see the absence of what they want, and their faith wavers. To feel it as if it's already done, you must train yourself to focus on the inner reality rather than the outer circumstances. This requires discipline and a willingness to step beyond the limitations of the senses. It is not denial of the current reality, but a conscious choice to dwell in the reality you are creating. One of the most powerful tools for feeling it as if it's already done is gratitude. Gratitude is a state of acknowledgement and appreciation, and it is one of the highest vibrations you can emit. When you feel grateful for something, you affirm its presence in your life. Even if it has not yet materialized in the physical world, expressing gratitude for it, as if it has already arrived, signals to the universe that you are aligned with its fulfillment. This state of gratitude opens the floodgates for your desires to flow into your experience. Another aspect of this principle is detachment. To feel as if it's already done means to release the need for it to happen. Neediness creates resistance, for it comes from a place of lack. When you need something, you are affirming its absence. But when you feel as if it's already done, you enter a state of wholeness and completeness. You no longer chase or cling to your desire, because you know it is already yours. This state of detachment allows the universe to bring your desire to you in the most harmonious and effortless way. The act of feeling it as if it's already done is not confined to specific moments of meditation or visualization. It is a way of being. Throughout your day, carry the feeling of fulfillment with you. Act as if your desire has already been realized. Speak, think, and behave as the person who already has what they want. This consistent embodiment reinforces the vibration of your desire and speeds up its manifestation. It is also essential to recognize that the process of feeling it as if it's already done is not a one-time event. It is a practice. Each time you consciously generate the feeling of fulfillment, you strengthen the connection between your inner and outer realities. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and you will find yourself manifesting with greater ease and speed. When you truly feel as if your desire is already done, you eliminate all doubt. You no longer question whether it will happen because in your mind and heart, it already has. This certainty is the hallmark of a master manifester. It is not arrogance but a quiet confidence born from the understanding of universal laws. The principle of feeling it as if it's already done is a call to take control of your inner world. It is an invitation to step into the role of creator and to trust in the power of your imagination and emotions. As you practice this principle, you will come to see that the external world is but a shadow of your inner state. When you align with the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the world will shift to reflect it. You will discover that there is no limit to what you can create when you live in the knowing that it is already done. The power of intention and clarity is the foundation upon which all creation rests. Intention is the conscious choice to bring something into existence, while clarity provides the focused vision that directs your energy toward its fulfillment. Together, these elements serve as a blueprint for manifesting the life you desire. Without intention, you drift aimlessly, reacting to life rather than creating it. Without clarity, your efforts scatter in multiple directions, failing to gain the momentum necessary to bring about transformation. When intention and clarity unite, they form an unstoppable force, aligning your inner world with the infinite potential of the universe. Everything begins with intention. It is the seed from which all possibilities grow. Intention is not merely wishing or hoping, it is a deliberate act of will. It is the declaration that you are committed to bringing forth a specific outcome. When you set an intention, you send a clear message to the universe and to your subconscious mind. This message serves as a directive, activating the forces of creation to move in your favor. But for intention to work its magic, it must be genuine and focused. A vague or half-hearted intention lacks the energy to inspire action and attract the resources needed to manifest your desires. Clarity amplifies the power of intention by giving it direction. Imagine a beam of light scattered in all directions. Its impact is minimal. Now imagine that same beam concentrated into a laser. It becomes powerful enough to cut through steel. This is the difference clarity makes. When you are clear about what you want, you eliminate doubt and confusion. Your energy becomes concentrated, and your actions align effortlessly with your goals. Clarity is the anchor that keeps you steady, even when challenges arise. It allows you to see past distractions and remain focused on your ultimate destination. The process of gaining clarity begins with self-reflection. What is it that you truly desire? Not what society tells you to want or what others expect of you, but what resonates deeply with your heart and soul. To find this answer, you must look within, stripping away the noise of the external world. Ask yourself, what brings me joy? What fulfills me? What aligns with my highest purpose? The answers to these questions form the foundation of your intentions. Clarity comes when your desires are authentic, rooted in who you are rather than who you think you should be. Once you have set a clear intention, the next step is to align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with it. This alignment creates coherence between your inner and outer worlds, making the manifestation process seamless. Your thoughts should consistently reflect the reality you wish to create. Your feelings should embody the emotions associated with its fulfillment: joy, gratitude, excitement, or peace. Finally, your actions should mirror your commitment to your intention. Even small, consistent steps in the direction of your goal signal to the universe that you are serious about your desire. It is essential to trust the process and remain patient. Intention and clarity are not magic wands that deliver instant results. They are guiding forces that unfold your desires in divine timing. Often people set an intention and expect immediate evidence of its manifestation. When results do not appear right away, they become discouraged and abandon their goal. This is where faith and persistence come into play. Trust that your intention has been heard and that the universe is orchestrating events to bring it to fruition. Remain steadfast, knowing that clarity and focus will eventually bear fruit. A crucial aspect of intention is detachment. While it is important to be clear and passionate about your desires, you must also let go of the need to control how and when they will manifest. Attachment creates resistance as it stems from a place of lack and fear. Detachment, on the other hand, signals confidence and trust. When you release your grip on the outcome, you allow the universe to work its magic in ways you may not have anticipated. Often the results will exceed your expectations, arriving in forms more perfect than you could have imagined. Clarity also involves understanding the deeper why behind your intention. Why do you want what you desire? What is the purpose it serves in your life? When you connect with the underlying reason for your intention, you infuse it with greater meaning and power. For example, the intention to manifest financial abundance becomes more potent when tied to a purpose, such as providing for your family, contributing to a cause, or experiencing greater freedom. This deeper why keeps you motivated and aligned, even in the face of challenges. The power of intention and clarity is not limited to personal goals. It can also be applied to broader aspects of life. Whether you seek improved relationships, better health, or a deeper spiritual connection, the process remains the same. Set a clear intention, align with it wholeheartedly, and trust in its fulfillment. When you live with intention, every moment becomes purposeful. Clarity allows you to navigate life with confidence, knowing that you are moving toward a future of your own design. The combination of intention and clarity is transformative. It empowers you to take control of your life and step into the role of creator. No longer are you at the mercy of external circumstances. You become the architect of your destiny. With intention as your compass and clarity as your guide, you chart a path toward a life that reflects your highest aspirations. This is the essence of living with purpose, and it is a gift available to all who choose to claim it. It is one of the most powerful yet misunderstood principles in the process of manifesting your desires. To many, detachment might sound like indifference or a lack of commitment, but in reality, it is the key to unlocking the speed and ease with which your desires can come to fruition. When you master the art of detachment, you free yourself from the resistance, fear, and doubt that often hinder manifestation. Detachment does not mean giving up on what you want. It means releasing the need to control how and when it will arrive, trusting that the process is unfolding perfectly in its own time. At the core of detachment is the understanding that clinging to an outcome stems from a sense of lack. When you feel an intense need for something to happen, you are energetically affirming its absence. This state of neediness creates resistance, as it signals to your subconscious mind and the universe that you do not believe your desire is already yours. The energy of lack and desperation slows down the process, making your desire seem further away than it truly is. Detachment, on the other hand, signals confidence and trust. It declares that you know your desire is already on its way and that you are at peace, regardless of the timing or the means of its arrival. When you are detached, you remain emotionally balanced. Your happiness and sense of fulfillment are not dependent on whether your desire manifests in the exact way you imagined. This emotional equilibrium is a powerful state because it aligns you with the flow of life. Instead of forcing outcomes, you allow them to unfold naturally. The universe operates in harmony with your energy, responding to the clarity of your intention and the ease of your detachment. In this state, you become a magnet for your desires, as there is no resistance blocking their manifestation. Detachment also frees you from the need to micromanage the process. Often people become fixated on how their desire will come to pass. They try to control every detail, thinking that by doing so, they can ensure its success. However, this approach often backfires, as it limits the infinite ways in which the universe can bring your desire to you. When you detach, you open yourself to possibilities beyond your imagination. You trust that the universe is infinitely resourceful and that it knows the best and most efficient way to fulfill your intention. One of the most liberating aspects of detachment is the release of time-related anxiety. When you are attached to a specific timeline, you constantly check for evidence of progress, and any perceived delay can lead to frustration and doubt. This impatience creates a vibration of resistance, which only slows down the process further. Detachment allows you to let go of the need for immediate results, knowing that everything is happening in perfect timing. Paradoxically, when you stop obsessing over how quickly your desire will manifest, it often happens much faster. Detachment also fosters a deeper connection with your inner self. When you are attached to an outcome, your focus is external. You look to the outer world for validation and confirmation that your desire is on its way. This outward focus can disconnect you from the true source of your power, which lies within. Detachment brings your attention back to your inner state, where you cultivate the feelings of joy, gratitude, and fulfillment that align with your desire. This inner alignment is what ultimately creates your external reality. A practical way to practice detachment is to shift your focus from the how and when to the what and why. Be clear about what you want and why it matters to you, but let go of the specifics of how it will happen or when it will arrive. Trust that the universe is orchestrating events in your favor and that your role is simply to stay aligned with the vibration of your desire. Focus on enjoying the present moment, knowing that your desire is already making its way to you. Gratitude is another powerful tool for cultivating detachment. When you express gratitude for what you already have and for what is coming, you affirm that you are in a state of abundance. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to fulfillment, reinforcing the belief that you are already complete. This sense of completeness dissolves the neediness and attachment that can block your manifestations. Gratitude allows you to embrace the present moment while confidently anticipating the blessings of the future. Detachment also requires a level of faith and trust in the process. It is the belief that you are supported by a loving and intelligent universe that always has your best interests at heart. When you trust the process, you no longer feel the need to control every aspect of it. You understand that sometimes what appears to be a delay or a detour is actually a necessary part of the journey. Trusting the process allows you to relax and enjoy the unfolding of your desires, knowing that everything is working out for your highest good. Detachment is about surrendering control while maintaining faith and focus. It is the balance between intention and trust, between desire and contentment. When you master detachment, you align yourself with the natural flow of creation, allowing your desires to manifest with ease and speed. You become a co-creator with the universe, working in harmony with its infinite wisdom and abundance. Detachment is not about giving up, it is about letting go of resistance and stepping into the effortless flow of life, where all things are possible. Revision can alter your path in profound and transformative ways, reshaping not only your external reality but also your internal landscape. In the process of manifestation, revision is the powerful tool that allows you to change your perception of past events, thus altering the future. Many people believe that their past defines them, that the experiences they've lived through shape who they are and what they can become. However, revision offers a liberating truth: the past is not fixed, and by changing the way you view it, you can change the course of your life. Revision begins with the understanding that time is not linear. Our perception of time is rooted in the present moment, and what we recall about the past is filtered through the lens of our current beliefs and emotions. In essence, the past exists only in our minds, and how we choose to remember it directly influences how we experience our present and future. By revising our memories, we reshape the very framework within which we live, allowing new opportunities and realities to emerge. The process of revision starts with the realization that the power to change your reality is within you. You do not need to wait for external circumstances to shift. The key lies in changing the way you feel about the past. When you alter your thoughts and emotions related to past events, you release their hold on your current life. The past no longer has the power to limit your possibilities because you have rewritten it in a way that empowers you rather than diminishing you. One of the most effective ways to revise your past is by using the power of imagination. Imagination is not merely a fantasy or daydream, it is the creative force that shapes your experience of life. Through imagination, you can mentally reconstruct events, conversations, and situations, infusing them with the emotions and outcomes you desire. For example, if you've experienced a setback or failure, you can revise the memory to reflect a positive outcome. Instead of remembering a moment of disappointment, you can imagine that everything unfolded perfectly, that the people involved reacted in a way that supported your success, and that the situation ultimately led you to a better path. By revising the past in this way, you begin to free yourself from the emotional baggage that might have been holding you back. Every time you mentally replay a revised version of an event, you are conditioning your subconscious mind to accept it as your new truth. The more you practice this revision, the more powerful the new reality becomes. You start to believe that success and fulfillment are your natural states, not something you must struggle to achieve. This process of revision can be applied not only to past events but also to relationships, self-image, and future goals. If there are aspects of your life where you feel disempowered, you can revise those areas to reflect strength, confidence, and abundance. If you face challenges in relationships, whether with family, friends, or romantic partners, you can revise those interactions to reflect love, understanding, and harmony. In doing so, you are sending a clear message to your subconscious mind that this new reality is the one you are creating. Another crucial aspect of revision is the emotional component. Emotions are the energy that drives manifestation. The energy behind your thoughts dictates the speed and effectiveness with which you manifest your desires. If your past is filled with negative emotions, such as regret, guilt, or anger, those emotions continue to influence your present state. Revision allows you to replace these lower vibrational emotions with feelings of joy, love, and gratitude. When you revise an event and feel the positive emotions associated with it, you shift your energy and vibration. This shift creates an environment where new, more aligned experiences can manifest. Revision also has the power to release the past's grip on your sense of identity. People often define themselves by their past, by the mistakes they've made, the failures they've encountered, or the challenges they've faced. But when you revise these experiences, you remove the labels that have been attached to you. You no longer see yourself as someone defined by past mistakes or limitations. Instead, you see yourself as the empowered creator of your own reality. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are free to choose who you want to be moving forward. Revision offers the freedom to reshape your future. Since your past and present are deeply interconnected, changing your past changes your present and, by extension, your future. If you change the way you feel about past obstacles, failures, or limitations, you create a new trajectory for your life. You begin to see new possibilities, ones that were once hidden beneath the weight of past beliefs. The revised version of your past becomes the foundation for a future built on success, abundance, and happiness. It is important to note that revision is not about ignoring or denying your past experiences. It is not about pretending that negative things didn't happen or that challenges didn't exist. It is about shifting the meaning you attach to those experiences. When you revise, you are not erasing the past, you are changing your perception of it. You are choosing to see every event as an opportunity for growth, every obstacle as a stepping stone to greater success. You are acknowledging that everything in your life has brought you to this moment, and that you now have the power to change the course of your future. The beauty of revision is that it is always available to you. No matter what has happened in your life, you can begin the process of rewriting it at any time. Every moment presents a fresh opportunity to change your mind, to revise your story, and to create a new path forward. The key to manifestation is not simply wishing for change, it is actively participating in the creation of your reality by revising your past, revising your beliefs, and revising your perceptions. In doing so, you step into your power as the creator of your life, knowing that the path ahead is always within your control. Persistence is the key that unlocks the door to your deepest desires. It is the unwavering belief in your vision, the constant effort, and the firm conviction that no matter how long it takes, your desire will eventually manifest. It's the understanding that the process of creation doesn't always happen instantly, but that persistence, combined with faith, will eventually make your vision solidify into reality. When you persist, you are engaging in a powerful act of creation, shifting your inner world so that your outer world must align with it. Your desire, when persistently held in your mind, must harden into reality, as the law of manifestation dictates. In manifestation, it is not about forcing the universe to deliver or trying to bend reality to your will. Instead, it's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions so that they are in harmony with the desire you wish to bring into existence. It's about holding on to your vision with steady faith, regardless of external circumstances. When you persist, you build momentum. Just as a seed planted in the earth eventually pushes through the soil after enduring the right conditions, your desire will break through into the physical realm once the right conditions, belief, emotion, and persistence are maintained. The most important part of persistence is the mental and emotional consistency that you maintain. Your thoughts and feelings are the building blocks of your reality. They are the forces that shape your experience, creating an energetic match for your desires. The act of persisting is an act of aligning your energy to the feeling of already having what you want. When you persist in maintaining this alignment, it doesn't matter what you see in the external world. What matters is the faith you continue to hold, knowing that the energy you have invested in your desire is making it more real every day. Persistence in manifestation requires unwavering belief. Doubt and uncertainty have the power to undo all the progress you've made. The universe is neutral, it simply reflects what you put out into the world. So when you persist, you must also guard your thoughts. You cannot allow the outside world to sway your belief. What you focus on expands. By persisting in holding the image of your desired reality, you allow that vision to imprint upon your subconscious mind. And once your subconscious is fully aligned with your desire, it begins to reshape your external world to match that vision. This persistence is not about exerting force or willpower. It is about a deep, quiet certainty that your desire is already yours. The key is in continuing to hold that belief, even when the evidence of its manifestation is not yet visible. The world may not instantly reflect your thoughts, but by consistently and persistently holding the vibration of your desire, you align yourself with the frequency that will eventually cause it to materialize. An essential part of persistence is not wavering when things don't appear to be going as expected. The delay or seeming absence of your desire is not a signal to give up. It is an opportunity for you to deepen your belief and trust in the process. Understand that reality is malleable, and what appears to be an obstacle or delay is simply the universe rearranging things behind the scenes. When you persist, you give the universe the space and time it needs to align everything in perfect order for your manifestation to unfold. The more you persist, the more the universe responds, as it begins to solidify the outcome you've been visualizing and feeling. Manifestation is an energetic process, and persistence means continuing to nurture that energy. It's about cultivating an emotional state that is in harmony with your desired outcome. When you hold on to your vision and consistently embody the feelings of having already achieved it, the law of attraction kicks into action. The emotional energy you put out, coupled with your mental focus, creates the conditions for your desire to materialize. This doesn't mean that everything will come immediately, but it does mean that your persistence ensures that the process is moving forward, whether you can see it or not. Persistence also requires you to take inspired action. While you don't need to force things into being, the universe does respond to action that aligns with your desire. When you take action with faith, knowing that you are walking in the direction of your dream, the universe will start to open doors and provide opportunities that align with your vision. Persistence in this sense is about staying engaged with your desire while being open to the flow of opportunities and possibilities that come your way. Another crucial element of persistence is the mental discipline to shut out negative influences. This means not listening to the voices of doubt or skepticism, whether from others or your own mind. The energy of doubt interferes with the process of manifestation, as it sends conflicting signals to the universe. When you persist, you cultivate the inner strength to ignore distractions, criticism, and fear. You stay focused on your vision, no matter what the outside world tells you. You also need to practice patience as part of persistence. The process of manifestation often takes time, and even though you may feel that your desire is not appearing quickly enough, your persistence in holding the vision is what is slowly creating the conditions for it to come into being. Understand that the universe is working on your behalf, aligning people, situations, and opportunities to bring you exactly what you've asked for. While you may not see the immediate results, persistence requires you to trust in the unfolding process. Persistence is not about forcing results or obsessing over the outcome. It's about maintaining a steady belief, a consistent alignment with your desire, and an unwavering trust in the process. When you persist, you are sending a message to the universe that you believe in your desire and that you will not be swayed by external circumstances. The more you persist, the more your desire becomes an undeniable reality, eventually solidifying into the physical world. As you continue, you will witness the transformation, as your thoughts, emotions, and actions all come together to create the life you've been visualizing. It is this persistence, this continual nurturing of your vision, that ensures that your desire will harden into reality, just as the seed eventually blossoms into the full manifestation of its potential. In conclusion, the journey of manifestation is one of deep faith, persistent effort, and unwavering belief. It is a process where the mind, emotions, and actions work in unison to create the reality you desire. From the power of intention and clarity to the practice of revision and detachment, each element plays a crucial role in shaping your world. The key is to remain persistent, knowing that your desires are already on their way and that the universe is always working behind the scenes to align everything in perfect timing. But keep nurturing your vision, remain consistent in your efforts, and trust the process, for in doing so, your reality will inevitably transform. Thank you for joining me today. May your journey of manifestation be filled with unwavering belief, inspired action, and the joy of seeing your dreams unfold into reality. My friends, as we step into 2025, I invite you to embrace a revolutionary truth. The most important work you will ever do is the work you do on yourself. This year is not for chasing others, seeking approval, or scattering your energy in countless directions. This is the year you turn inward and reclaim your power. The idea that your inner world shapes your outer world is not just a philosophical concept, but a profound truth that governs every aspect of life. It is a principle rooted in the understanding that your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions create the reality you experience. Life is not something that happens to you, it is a projection of what happens within you. To grasp this is to step into your true power as the architect of your destiny. Consider for a moment the mind as a garden. Every thought is a seed, every belief a root, and every emotion the water that nourishes the soil. What grows in this garden depends entirely on what you cultivate. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, your outer world will reflect scarcity, conflict, and frustration. But if you sow seeds of love, confidence, and abundance, you will experience a life that mirrors those qualities. This is not a matter of mere positive thinking, but a deliberate practice of aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to create. Your mind operates as a powerful magnet, attracting circumstances, people, and opportunities that match the energy you emit. When your thoughts are dominated by lack or negativity, you unconsciously draw more of the same into your life. Conversely, when you focus on gratitude, possibility, and fulfillment, your external circumstances begin to shift in miraculous ways. The outer world is a mirror, and it reflects not what you want, but what you are. If you long for love yet carry the belief that you are unworthy of it, the mirror will reflect relationships filled with distance or heartbreak. If you desire success, but harbor deep doubts about your abilities, the reflection will be missed opportunities and unfulfilled goals. The mirror does not judge, it simply reflects. To change the reflection, you must change the source. The transformation begins with awareness. Most people live on autopilot, unaware of the thoughts and beliefs that dominate their inner world. They react to external circumstances without realizing that these circumstances are often the result of their own mental patterns. Awareness is the first step to breaking free from this cycle. By observing your thoughts without judgment, you begin to see the connection between your inner dialogue and your outer experiences. Once aware, the next step is to consciously choose the thoughts and beliefs you wish to nurture. This requires more than fleeting affirmations. It demands a deep commitment to reprogramming your mind. Visualization is a powerful tool in this process. By vividly imagining the life you desire, as if it were already yours, you impress this image upon your subconscious mind. Over time, the subconscious, which cannot distinguish between reality and imagination, begins to align your actions, emotions, and energy with this vision. The outer world then responds to this shift in alignment. Emotion plays a critical role in this process. Thoughts alone are not enough. They must be charged with the feelings that correspond to the reality you wish to create. If you think of abundance but feel fear or doubt, the emotional charge negates the thought. However, when you think of abundance and feel the joy, freedom, and gratitude that come with it, you create a powerful signal that resonates with the energy of abundance. This resonance attracts circumstances that match it. Doubt and fear often arise as you embark on this journey of transformation. They are remnants of old conditioning, and their presence does not mean you have failed. On the contrary, they are opportunities to reaffirm your commitment to your vision. Instead of resisting these emotions, acknowledge them, understand their origins, and release them with love. In doing so, you create space for new beliefs to take root. The external world is also a teacher, offering feedback on your inner state. Challenges and obstacles are not punishments but mirrors, revealing areas where your inner alignment needs refinement. Instead of viewing difficulties as barriers, see them as opportunities to grow and align more deeply with your desired reality. Each challenge carries a gift if you are willing to look within and learn from it. The power of your inner world is limitless, but it requires consistency. This is not a one-time effort but a daily practice. Just as a garden requires regular care, your mind needs constant tending. Meditate to quiet the noise of the external world. Journal to uncover hidden beliefs. Surround yourself with people, books, and environments that support your growth. These practices help you maintain the clarity and focus needed to shape your outer world intentionally. When you master your inner world, you realize that nothing outside of you has power over you. Circumstances no longer dictate your state of being. Instead, your state of being dictates your circumstances. This realization frees you from the illusion of victimhood and places you firmly in the role of creator. You are no longer at the mercy of life. You are life itself, unfolding in alignment with your vision. The beauty of this truth is its simplicity. You do not need external tools, validation, or approval to change your life. Everything you need is already within you. By aligning your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs with the reality you wish to experience, you unlock the infinite potential of creation. Your inner world shapes your outer world, and by mastering this principle, you can create a life that reflects the deepest desires of your heart. In a world that never seems to stop, where every moment is filled with alerts, demands, and distractions, the greatest gift you can give yourself is silence. The external world is a constant stream of noise, voices clamoring for your attention, expectations pulling you in different directions, and the unending barrage of information that keeps your mind perpetually occupied. Amid all this chaos, the truth of who you are, what you desire, and what truly matters gets drowned out. To reclaim your peace and power, you must learn to silence the noise of the external world and turn inward to the stillness where all answers reside. The external world thrives on your attention. Advertisements beg for you to buy, social media vies for your validation, and the opinions of others infiltrate your mind. These forces are designed to distract you from yourself, to keep you engaged with everything but your inner truth. The more you chase external noise, the further you drift from the clarity and peace that lie within. Silence is not just the absence of sound, is the absence of unnecessary influence. In silence, you can finally hear the quiet whisper of your intuition, the voice that is often overshadowed by the chaos around you. This is not to say that the external world is inherently bad. It serves its purpose, offering experiences and lessons that shape your journey. However, when the external becomes your focus, when you allow it to dictate your emotions and decisions, you lose touch with your inner guidance. The noise of the world is loud, but its power over you is an illusion. You have the choice to step back, to disengage, and to listen to something far more profound, the stillness within. Creating silence in a noisy world begins with boundaries. You must protect your energy as you would a precious resource. Not every conversation needs your participation, not every opinion deserves your response, and not every demand requires your attention. By saying no to what does not serve your highest self, you say yes to the space where silence can flourish. This is not selfish, it is necessary. Without boundaries, your mind becomes a battleground for external forces, leaving little room for the calm that nurtures your soul. Silence is also a practice of presence. In a society addicted to speed and productivity, pausing can feel unnatural, even uncomfortable. Yet it is in the pause that life reveals its depth. When you allow yourself to be fully present, you break free from the grip of past regrets and future anxieties. The present moment is the only place where silence truly exists. By grounding yourself in the now, you step into a space where external noise loses its hold, and the beauty of simplicity emerges. Disengaging from the external does not mean isolating yourself or rejecting the world. It means choosing to interact with it on your terms. It means filtering what you allow into your mind and heart. Ask yourself, does this conversation uplift me? Does this news feed inspire me? Does this relationship align with my values? If the answer is no, give yourself permission to step away. Silence is not avoidance, it is discernment. It is the recognition that not everything deserves a place in your sacred inner world. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate silence is through solitude. Time alone is not loneliness, it is a return to self. In solitude, you reconnect with your thoughts and emotions without interference. You begin to understand what truly drives you, what you long for, and what no longer serves you. Solitude is the fertile ground where your dreams take root, free from the distractions that often keep them buried. Meditation is another doorway to silence. In meditation, you train your mind to release the chatter of the external world and find stillness within. At first, the mind may resist, filling the quiet with restless thoughts. But with practice, the noise subsides, and a deeper silence emerges, a silence that is not empty but full of clarity and peace. This silence is where creativity, intuition, and inspiration are born. It is the space where you remember that you are more than your circumstances, more than the noise of the world. Technology, while a powerful tool, is one of the greatest sources of noise in modern life. Constant notifications, endless scrolling, and the illusion of connection often leave you feeling more disconnected than ever. To silence this noise, you must take control of your relationship with technology. Set limits on your screen time. Create moments in your day where you disconnect entirely. Use technology intentionally as a tool to serve your growth, not as a distraction from your inner work. The silence you seek is not something you need to create, it is already within you. The noise of the external world simply obscures it. By stepping away from the distractions and reconnecting with yourself, you uncover the stillness that has always been there. This silence is a source of strength, clarity, and wisdom. It is the foundation upon which you can build a life aligned with your highest vision. In silencing the noise of the external world, you do not lose anything, you gain everything. You gain the ability to hear your own voice, to trust your own path, and to live a life that is true to you. The world will continue to spin, and the noise will persist, but it does not have to consume you. When you choose silence, you reclaim your power. You remember that the external world is but a reflection of your inner state, and in that silence you find the freedom to shape it on your terms. Life offers a choice to be the creator of your experiences or the reactor to your circumstances. Many move through life in a state of reactivity, allowing external events to dictate their emotions, decisions, and overall state of being. In this mode, you become a passenger, carried by the currents of life, often feeling powerless and at the mercy of forces beyond your control. But to become the creator is to take the reins of your destiny. It is to step into the understanding that your thoughts, beliefs, and actions shape the life you live. The difference between the two lies not in what happens to you, but in how you choose to respond and the role you assume in your story. Reacting is easy. It is the default state for most. When something goes wrong, the immediate instinct is to blame the situation, people, or even fate. This reaction often comes from a place of fear, frustration, or lack. It's a conditioned response rooted in the belief that life happens to you rather than through you. Reactivity keeps you tied to external circumstances, perpetually waiting for something or someone to change so you can feel better. This cycle creates a sense of powerlessness, as if you are a bystander in your own life. On the other hand, becoming the creator requires awareness, intention, and responsibility. It begins with recognizing that the world outside is a reflection of the world within. Every thought you hold, every belief you nurture, and every feeling you embody contributes to the reality you experience. This is not to say that you control every event or person in your life, but you do have the power to control how you interpret, respond to, and grow from them. This shift from reaction to creation is transformative. It places you in the role of the artist, painting your life with the colors of your choosing. As a creator, your first tool is your mind. Thoughts are not fleeting, inconsequential things. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Over time, these seeds grow into the experiences and outcomes that define your reality. When you think with intention, focusing on what you desire rather than what you fear, you align your inner world with the outcomes you wish to see in the outer world. It is not enough to simply want something. You must think, feel, and act as though it is already yours. This alignment is what transforms desire into reality. Emotion is the fuel of creation. While thoughts set the direction, emotions provide the energy. To become the creator, you must cultivate emotions that resonate with the reality you want to experience. If you seek joy, practice gratitude. If you seek abundance, feel the freedom and satisfaction that come with having enough. Too often, people wait for circumstances to generate these feelings, but as the creator, you understand that it works the other way around. By embodying the emotions of your desired reality now, you draw that reality closer to you. Becoming the creator also means embracing responsibility. This is not about blame or self-criticism, but about owning your role in shaping your life. Responsibility empowers you because it reminds you that you are never truly stuck. Every moment is an opportunity to choose differently, to think differently, and to act differently. Even in the face of challenges, you retain the power to create meaning, growth, and transformation. As long as you are willing to take ownership, you remain the author of your story. Reacting often stems from fear of losing control, being hurt, or failing. But as the creator, you operate from a place of trust. You trust that your inner alignment will manifest in your external reality. You trust that challenges are not punishments but opportunities to refine your vision and strengthen your resolve. This trust allows you to move through life with confidence and peace, unshaken by temporary setbacks. Action is where creation becomes tangible. Thought and emotion are powerful, but they must be coupled with inspired action to bring your vision to life. The difference between reactive action and creative action lies in intention. Reactive actions are hurried, driven by anxiety or a need to fix. Creative actions are deliberate, guided by clarity and purpose. They are not always grand gestures. Sometimes they are small, consistent steps that, over time, build the reality you envision. Being a creator does not mean controlling every detail of life. There will always be factors beyond your influence. But even in those moments, you have the power to choose your response. You can see obstacles as insurmountable or as stepping stones. You can let disappointment define you or use it as fuel for growth. The creator sees every experience as part of a greater masterpiece, knowing that even the challenges serve a purpose in the grand design. The journey from reactor to creator is not a one-time decision but a daily practice. It requires mindfulness to catch yourself in moments of reactivity and the courage to choose creation instead. It requires patience, as not every shift will yield immediate results. And it requires faith in the process, trusting that the reality you seek is already taking shape, even if it is not yet visible. To become the creator is to reclaim your power. It is to realize that you are not a victim of life's circumstances, but the architect of your destiny. When you create rather than react, you align yourself with the infinite potential within you. You step into your role as a deliberate, conscious participant in the unfolding of your life. And in doing so, you transform not just your own reality, but the world around you. True transformation begins with a single, profound realization: you must love yourself fully and unconditionally. Without self-love, no amount of external change can bring lasting fulfillment. It is the foundation upon which all growth, healing, and personal evolution are built. When you cultivate self-love, you align with your intrinsic worth and recognize that you are deserving of all the joy, peace, and abundance life has to offer. This love is not born out of arrogance or selfishness, but out of an understanding that you cannot give to others, achieve your goals, or navigate life's challenges unless you first honor yourself. Self-love is the courage to accept yourself as you are in this moment. It means embracing your flaws, imperfections, and past mistakes without judgment. So often people seek transformation because they believe they are broken or unworthy. But transformation does not come from fixing what is broken. It comes from realizing that you were never broken to begin with. You are a work in progress, and every part of you, both the light and the shadow, contributes to the unique being that you are. Self-love allows you to see yourself through a lens of compassion, where you no longer criticize or reject the parts of you that need the most care. To love yourself is to recognize your value, independent of external achievements or validation. Society often teaches us to measure our worth by what we accomplish, how others perceive us, or the roles we fulfill. This creates a cycle of striving, where we are constantly chasing something outside of ourselves to feel good enough. But the truth is, your worth is inherent. It does not fluctuate with success or failure, nor does it depend on the approval of others. Self-love anchors you in this truth, freeing you from the endless pursuit of external validation and allowing you to stand confidently in your own essence. When you love yourself, you set boundaries that protect your well-being. Many people struggle with saying no or prioritizing their needs because they fear disappointing others or being seen as selfish. But self-love reminds you that your time, energy, and emotional health are sacred. By honoring your limits, you teach others how to treat you and create space for what truly matters in your life. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are pathways to healthier, more authentic connections. When you operate from a place of self-love, you no longer sacrifice your peace to please others. Self-love is also the key to healing. Emotional wounds, traumas, and insecurities often linger because we resist confronting them. We bury our pain, hoping it will disappear, but it manifests in other ways through anxiety, anger, or self-sabotage. Loving yourself means having the courage to face these wounds with tenderness and understanding. It means forgiving yourself for past mistakes and releasing the shame or guilt that weighs you down. Healing is not a linear process, and it requires patience. But when you approach it with self-love, you create an environment where growth and recovery can flourish. Transformation through self-love is not about becoming someone new. It is about uncovering who you already are. Life's experiences, challenges, and conditioning often cause us to lose sight of our true essence. We begin to believe the stories we are told about who we should be, rather than embracing who we truly are. Self-love peels back these layers of doubt and fear, revealing the authentic self that has always been within. This authenticity becomes the foundation for any meaningful change. When you act from a place of self-love, your choices align with your deepest values and desires, rather than the expectations of others. One of the most powerful aspects of self-love is how it transforms your relationship with failure. Many people fear failure because they equate it with unworthiness. But when you love yourself, failure becomes an opportunity, rather than a reflection of your value. You understand that mistakes are simply stepping stones on the path of growth. They do not define you, they refine you. Self-love gives you the resilience to try again, to learn from your experiences, and to keep moving forward, knowing that your worth is never diminished by setbacks. Self-love also expands your capacity to love others. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you neglect your own needs, your relationships suffer, because you operate from a place of depletion rather than abundance. But when you prioritize self-love, you have more to give. Your love becomes unconditional because it is not rooted in fear, neediness, or insecurity. Instead, it flows freely, unburdened by the expectation that others must fill the gaps in your self-worth. This creates deeper, more fulfilling connections as you are able to give and receive love authentically. Cultivating self-love is a daily practice. It is found in the small, intentional choices you make to honor yourself. It is in the way you speak to yourself, the thoughts you entertain, and the actions you take to nurture your mind, body, and soul. It is in celebrating your successes, no matter how small, and in showing yourself kindness on the days when you stumble. Self-love is not a destination, it is a journey, one that evolves as you grow and change. As you build this foundation of self-love, transformation becomes inevitable. You begin to see yourself not as someone who needs to be fixed, but as someone who is continuously unfolding into their highest potential. You release the need to prove yourself and instead embrace the freedom to simply be. With self-love as your guide, you discover a strength and beauty within that no external circumstance can take away. You become the architect of your own life, creating a reality that reflects the love and respect you have for yourself. And in doing so, you transform not only your own world, but also the lives of those around you. The art of assumption is one of the most powerful tools for transforming your life, yet it remains elusive to many who are caught in the cycle of reacting to their current circumstances. Assumption is not mere wishful thinking, it is a deliberate act of aligning your inner state with the reality you desire, regardless of what the outer world may presently show. Mastering this art is to step into the role of creator, where you shape your experiences through the lens of belief, imagination, and unwavering conviction. At its core, the art of assumption begins with the understanding that reality is fluid and shaped by consciousness. The external world is not fixed, it is a mirror reflecting the dominant thoughts and beliefs held within you. When you assume something to be true, you impress this belief upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious, acting without question or resistance, begins to orchestrate events, people, and circumstances to bring this assumption into being. It does so not because of magical thinking, but because of the alignment between your inner state and the energy you project outward. The first step in mastering assumption is clarity. You must know what you desire with specificity and conviction. Vague wishes yield vague results. Instead of saying, "I want to be successful," assume, "I am a successful entrepreneur, thriving in my chosen field." The more vivid and detailed your assumption, the more powerful its impact. Engage all your senses, see, feel, hear, and even taste the reality you wish to experience. This sensory engagement bridges the gap between imagination and belief, making your assumption feel real and attainable. Next comes the act of embodying the assumption. It is not enough to think about your desired outcome, you must live as though it is already yours. This means aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you are assuming. If you assume yourself to be confident, how would you think, speak, and carry yourself? If you assume abundance, how would you approach your finances, relationships, and opportunities? Embodying the assumption creates a resonance within you that draws the corresponding reality into your experience. One of the most challenging aspects of mastering assumption is releasing doubt. The current circumstances of your life may contradict the reality you are seeking to create. These contradictions can provoke skepticism, causing you to waver in your belief. But doubt is the enemy of assumption. It creates resistance that blocks the flow of manifestation. To overcome doubt, focus not on what you see, but on what you know to be true in your mind and heart. The outer world is a delayed reflection. It takes time to catch up with the changes you make internally. Trust the process and remain steadfast in your assumption, even when the evidence is not immediately apparent. Another key to mastering assumption is persistence. Change rarely happens overnight. The mind is a creature of habit, and it often clings to old patterns and beliefs, even when they no longer serve you. Persistence is the act of reaffirming your assumption, day after day, until it becomes the dominant thought in your consciousness. This repetition rewires your subconscious mind, replacing doubt with certainty and fear with faith. Over time, the assumption becomes so ingrained that it feels natural, and when it feels natural, it manifests. The power of assumption is amplified when coupled with emotion. Emotion is the energy that fuels your thoughts and gives them life. To assume a reality without feeling it is like planting a seed without watering it. It cannot grow. When you assume, immerse yourself in the emotions that come with your desired reality. Feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement as though the outcome has already been achieved. This emotional engagement not only reinforces your assumption, but also raises your vibrational state, aligning you with the frequency of your desired reality. A vital component of mastering the art of assumption is detachment. While it may seem contradictory, true assumption requires letting go of the need to control how or when your desire will manifest. Clinging to the outcome creates tension and signals to your subconscious mind that you do not truly believe in the reality you are assuming. Detachment is not indifference, it is a state of trust and surrender. It is the knowing that what you have assumed is already yours, even if the evidence has not yet appeared. The art of assumption also involves self-awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts and beliefs that dominate your mind throughout the day. Are they aligned with the reality you wish to create, or are they rooted in fear and lack? Assumptions are formed not only through deliberate acts, but also through habitual thinking. By cultivating mindfulness, you can catch and replace limiting assumptions with empowering ones, ensuring that your inner dialogue supports your desired outcome. Ultimately, mastering the art of assumption is about stepping into your power as a creator. It is about recognizing that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances, but are instead the architect of your reality. This power comes with responsibility, as you must choose your assumptions wisely. What you assume consistently, you will inevitably experience. Therefore, assume the best for yourself and for others. Assume success, happiness, health, and abundance, not because you see them in the present moment, but because you know they are yours to claim. The beauty of assumption is that it does not require external validation or permission. It begins and ends within you. When you master this art, you transcend the limitations of the physical world and step into a life of infinite possibilities. You become the conscious creator of your destiny, shaping your world with the power of belief and the certainty of imagination. The year of total commitment to self is a powerful declaration to step into a life that is fully aligned with your deepest desires, needs, and aspirations. It's a commitment to stop living for others' approval, expectations, or validation, and instead place yourself at the center of your own universe. In a world that constantly demands attention from every angle, it's easy to lose sight of your true self. The distractions, pressures, and opinions of others can cloud your judgment and steer you off course. But when you commit to yourself, you break free from the noise and reclaim your power, your purpose, and your peace. Total commitment to self requires a shift in perspective. It means understanding that self-care is not selfish, but necessary for your well-being. To give to others, to pursue your passions, and to show up as your best self in the world, you must first nurture yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and when you neglect your own needs, desires, and boundaries, you create a life of burnout, resentment, and dissatisfaction. This year, commit to filling your cup first. Prioritize your health, your joy, your passions, and your mental clarity. You deserve that, and only when you honor yourself can you fully give to others from a place of abundance. A key element of this commitment is setting boundaries. Boundaries are an act of self-respect and self-love. They are not walls to push people away, but rather guidelines that preserve your energy, time, and emotional health. Too often, we allow others' demands to overshadow our own needs. We say yes when we want to say no. We sacrifice our personal time for obligations that do not align with our values. and we give our energy to people who drain us. Total commitment to self requires learning how to say no, how to protect your time, and how to honor your own needs without guilt. Boundaries may be difficult at first, but they are a sign of strength, not weakness. This year of commitment also calls for a deep dive into self-awareness. It's about taking the time to truly get to know yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your triggers, and your desires. Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth because it helps you understand the patterns and beliefs that have shaped your life. It allows you to question what is serving you and what is not, and gives you the clarity to make conscious decisions about who you want to become. Through journaling, meditation, therapy, or quiet reflection, you can create the space to discover what truly matters to you, what your authentic self needs to thrive, and how you can move forward in a way that honors your true essence. Total commitment to self also involves breaking free from the limitations you've placed on yourself. For too long, many of us have played small, held back by fear, self-doubt, or a sense of inadequacy. We've convinced ourselves that we are not capable, not worthy, or not deserving of the success, love, or happiness we desire. But this year, commit to rewriting the story you tell yourself. Let go of the limiting beliefs that have held you hostage and start believing in your own potential. When you fully commit to yourself, you stop waiting for external circumstances or validation to give you permission to step into your greatness. You trust that you are enough, just as you are, and that you have everything within you to create the life you want. Self-commitment also means embracing your own strengths and weaknesses. It's about giving yourself permission to be imperfect and understanding that growth is a journey, not a destination. Too often, we beat ourselves up for not being where we think we should be, or for not meeting the standards others have set for us. But true commitment to self involves self-compassion. It's the understanding that progress is not linear, and that mistakes, setbacks, and challenges are a natural part of the process. When you commit to yourself, you give yourself grace, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. Another critical aspect of this commitment is nourishing your body and mind. Physical health is an essential part of self-love. In a world that often glorifies hustle and overwork, it's easy to neglect the body that carries you through life. Total commitment to self means making time for regular exercise, nourishing your body with wholesome foods, and getting enough rest. It's about prioritizing your physical well-being as an act of self-respect, knowing that when you feel good in your body, your mind will follow. Mental health is equally important. Taking time for relaxation, seeking therapy when needed, and engaging in activities that bring you peace and joy are crucial to maintaining balance and clarity in your life. This year of total commitment also involves a shift in how you view and nurture your relationships. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your energy and well-being. Commitment to self means being mindful of who you allow into your inner circle. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, inspire you, and encourage your growth. Release relationships that drain you, that hold you back, or that cause you to doubt your worth. Let go of toxic dynamics and create space for connections that honor your authenticity. True commitment to yourself means creating a life that reflects your values, your desires, and your well-being. A year of total commitment to self is about living intentionally. It is easy to get caught up in the rush of life and lose sight of what truly matters. This year, take a step back and ask yourself what you truly want to create. What do you want to experience? What kind of person do you want to become? Living intentionally means making conscious choices each day that align with your vision for your life. It's about taking responsibility for your happiness and understanding that you are the creator of your reality. The year of total commitment to self is an invitation to choose yourself, to honor yourself, and to trust in your own power. It is a commitment to stepping fully into the life you were meant to live. When you make this commitment, everything begins to change. You attract opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your highest good. The world around you begins to mirror the love, respect, and care you have for yourself. This is your year to become the fullest expression of who you are, unapologetically and authentically. And in doing so, you create a life that is rich, fulfilling, and entirely your own. In conclusion, the year of total commitment to self is a transformative journey of self-discovery, self-love, and personal empowerment. By dedicating yourself to your own growth, well-being, and happiness, you break free from the external noise that distracts you and reconnect with the truth of who you are. This commitment requires setting boundaries, embracing self-awareness, nourishing your body and mind, and nurturing meaningful relationships. It is a year to step fully into your power, trust in your potential, and create the life you truly desire. As you embark on this journey, remember that total commitment to yourself is not a one-time decision, but a daily practice. With every choice you make, you are shaping your reality and reinforcing your worth. You are worthy of every dream, every success, and every moment of peace. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect on this powerful commitment. May this year be one of growth, fulfillment, and deep connection with yourself. Thank you. You stand at the crossroads of a new beginning, and all I ask is for 72 hours. Give me 72 hours, and I will give you a new life, one that is filled with joy, abundance, and fulfillment. But understand this: the change does not come from the outside world. It begins within you. Your current life is the product of the beliefs you hold, the thoughts you think, and the emotions you feel. If your world isn't what you desire, it's because your internal world is out of alignment with what you truly want. But I am here to tell you that in just 72 hours, you can change everything. You don't need months, years, or endless struggle. The key is to shift your focus, your thoughts, and your beliefs right now. The power of belief is a fundamental force that shapes the reality you experience. Everything in your life, from your success to your relationships, your health, and even your financial situation, is deeply rooted in the beliefs you hold about yourself and the world around you. You see, belief isn't just a passive thought. It's the driving force that directs your actions, influences your emotions, and ultimately dictates the circumstances you encounter. It's through belief that you create your reality. Belief works as a powerful filter through which you view the world. It's as if your beliefs are the lens through which you perceive everything that happens in your life. If you believe that life is hard, you will see challenges everywhere you go. If you believe that success is out of reach, you will struggle to make progress. On the other hand, if you believe that life is abundant, that opportunities are everywhere, and that you are worthy of success, the world will reflect these beliefs. What you believe about yourself and the world directly affects how you respond to situations, how you interact with others, and how you carry yourself through life. One of the most profound truths about belief is that it shapes your internal state. Your emotions, thoughts, and actions are all aligned with your beliefs. For example, if you believe that you are unworthy of love or success, you will unconsciously behave in ways that reinforce this belief. You might sabotage your own efforts or push people away because deep down you believe that you don't deserve what they have to offer. But when you change that belief and start to believe that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer, you begin to act with confidence, clarity, and purpose. The power of belief goes beyond just thoughts. It reaches into the subconscious mind, where beliefs are deeply rooted. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you feed it as truth. If you constantly tell yourself that you are capable and deserving, your subconscious mind will begin to accept this as fact, and it will start to influence your behavior, your choices, and even the people you attract into your life. On the contrary, if you constantly tell yourself that you are inadequate or unlucky, your subconscious mind will direct your life in alignment with these beliefs. This is where the idea of self-fulfilling prophecies comes into play. A self-fulfilling prophecy occurs when you believe something to be true so strongly that you act in ways that make it come true. If you believe you can succeed, you will take the necessary actions to achieve your goals. You will persist through obstacles, make the right connections, and make choices that lead to success. However, if you believe you will fail, your actions will be in alignment with that belief, and failure becomes inevitable. Your belief shapes your reality. because it influences the actions you take or fail to take. The power of belief also extends to how we perceive others. Our beliefs about the world and about other people influence how we interact with them. If you believe that people are kind, trustworthy, and supportive, you are more likely to attract positive, uplifting relationships into your life. On the other hand, if you believe that people are selfish, manipulative, or untrustworthy, you will likely find yourself surrounded by individuals who reflect these qualities. Our beliefs about others are often a direct reflection of our own internal beliefs. For example, if you have unresolved feelings of inadequacy, you might project that onto others, expecting them to treat you poorly or dismissively. Another important aspect of belief is its connection to the energy you put out into the world. Belief is energy. When you believe in something, whether it's your own potential, a goal, or a vision for your life, you send out an energetic vibration that aligns with that belief. This energy attracts situations, people, and opportunities that match that vibration. It's like sending out a signal to the universe, and what you send out will return to you in the form of circumstances and experiences. If you believe that you are a magnet for success, you will find that opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere, and people begin to take notice of you. On the other hand, if you believe that success is hard to come by, you will find yourself constantly struggling and facing roadblocks. The great thing about belief is that it is not set in stone. You are not doomed to live your life according to the beliefs you held in the past. You have the power to change your beliefs at any moment. By changing the beliefs that no longer serve you, you can transform your life. This is where the power of imagination comes into play. Your imagination is a tool that can be used to reshape your beliefs and create new possibilities. By imagining a life that aligns with the beliefs you wish to adopt, you can begin to shift your perception and move towards a reality that matches those beliefs. To harness the full potential of your belief, you must be intentional about what you choose to believe. Question the beliefs that no longer serve you, and consciously choose to adopt beliefs that align with your highest potential. Your beliefs shape everything in your life. They are the foundation upon which your reality is built. If you want a different life, you must begin with a different belief system. The power of belief is one of the most extraordinary tools you have. It shapes your reality, influences your actions, and attracts the experiences you encounter. The life you live today is a reflection of what you believe, and by changing those beliefs, you can change everything. Take a moment to ask yourself, what do I truly believe about myself and the world? Do those beliefs serve me, or are they holding me back? The moment you decide to change your beliefs is the moment your life begins to shift. And with that shift comes the possibility of creating a new reality, one that is rich with opportunity, success, and fulfillment. Everything is within you. This statement may sound profound, yet it holds a deep and transformative truth. Too often we look outside of ourselves for answers, validation, or change. We think that if we only had the right circumstances, the right people, or the right opportunities, our lives would be different. But in reality, everything you need to create the life you desire is already within you. It is not in the things you have or the people you encounter, it is in your own thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. The key to unlocking your true potential lies in recognizing this power and learning to tap into it. At the core of this truth is the understanding that your inner world shapes your outer reality. The world around you is simply a reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions you carry within yourself. Your experiences, your relationships, your successes and failures, all of them are manifestations of what you believe and how you feel about yourself and the world. If you want to change anything in your life, you must begin by looking inward and changing the way you think, believe, and perceive. The mind is an incredibly powerful tool. It can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy, depending on how you use it. When you align your thoughts with your desires, you begin to create the conditions for those desires to manifest. Your thoughts are like seeds, and your mind is the fertile soil that nurtures them. If you plant thoughts of doubt, fear, and limitation, your reality will reflect those thoughts. But if you plant thoughts of possibility, abundance, and confidence, your life will begin to reflect those as well. Many people unknowingly limit themselves because they believe that they are at the mercy of circumstances beyond their control. They may believe that they are stuck in a situation because of their background, their upbringing, or their current circumstances. But the truth is, you are never stuck unless you believe that you are. The moment you realize that you have the power to change your thoughts and beliefs, you open the door to unlimited possibilities. Your circumstances do not define you, they are simply a reflection of your current mindset. And just as easily as you have created the life you are living right now, you can create a new reality that aligns with your deepest desires. The key to accessing this inner power is to become aware of your thoughts and beliefs. Most people go through life on autopilot, unaware of the constant stream of thoughts running through their minds. These thoughts shape their perceptions, influence their decisions, and ultimately determine the course of their lives. But when you become conscious of your thoughts, you gain the ability to change them. You can replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones, and you can choose thoughts that support your growth and success. One of the most powerful tools for changing your inner world is your imagination. Your imagination is the gateway to creating a new reality. When you visualize the life you want to live, you are not just daydreaming, you are actively reprogramming your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you feed it as truth. By vividly imagining the life you desire, you are impressing those images upon your subconscious mind, and your subconscious will work to bring them into your reality. The more you engage your imagination, and the more vividly you picture your ideal life, the more likely you are to see it materialize in the physical world. Your inner world is also shaped by your beliefs. Beliefs are like lenses through which you view the world. They influence how you perceive yourself, others, and the world around you. If you believe that you are capable of achieving your goals, you will take actions that align with that belief. On the other hand, if you believe that you are not worthy or capable, you will unconsciously sabotage your efforts. The good news is that beliefs are not fixed, they can be changed. You are not bound by the beliefs you grew up with or the beliefs you developed in the past. You have the power to adopt new beliefs that empower you and support your growth. By choosing beliefs that align with your highest potential, you can unlock a new level of success and fulfillment. Another important aspect of the power within you is the ability to control your emotions. Emotions are powerful forces that influence your thoughts and actions. When you are in a negative emotional state, it is difficult to think clearly or make good decisions. But when you are able to master your emotions and maintain a positive, centered state, you are better equipped to navigate life's challenges. Emotions are a reflection of your thoughts, and when you change your thoughts, your emotions will follow. By practicing emotional control and learning to respond to situations rather than react, you gain mastery over your inner world, and in turn you gain mastery over your outer world. When you recognize that everything is within you, you begin to realize that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances. You have the ability to create your own reality. This does not mean that life will always be easy, or that challenges will not arise. But it does mean that you have the power to respond to those challenges in a way that serves your growth. You are the creator of your life, and the power to change anything lies within you. The truth is that you are already complete. You already possess everything you need to succeed. You have within you the power to create, to change, and to transform your life. The only thing that stands between you and the life you desire is your belief in your own power. Once you embrace the truth that everything is within you, you will begin to see the world as a place full of limitless possibilities. You will no longer look outside of yourself for answers, because you will know that you already hold the key to unlocking your dreams. Your imagination is one of the most powerful tools you possess. It is the creative force that shapes your reality and guides you towards the life you desire. The imagination is not merely a space for daydreams and fantasies. It is a dynamic, potent force that, when harnessed properly, can create profound changes in your life. It is through your imagination that you can envision your dreams, build your future, and manifest the reality you desire. The power of your imagination lies in its ability to transform your internal world, which in turn transforms the external world you experience. At its core, your imagination is the seed of creation. What you imagine is what you create. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions all begin in the realm of imagination, and these mental images shape your actions and perceptions. When you imagine something, you are sending a powerful signal to your subconscious mind, instructing it to bring that image into your life. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever is impressed upon it as truth. This is why the thoughts and images you hold in your mind are so important. If you can see it in your imagination, it can become a part of your physical reality. Your imagination has no limits. It is an endless, boundless space where you can create and design any scenario you desire. It does not matter where you come from, what you've experienced, or what your current circumstances are. Your imagination is free to create anything. This freedom is one of the most profound gifts you have, yet many people are unaware of its true potential. Instead of using their imagination to build their desired future, they often use it to focus on what they fear or what they don't want. They imagine worst-case scenarios, doubts, and limitations, inadvertently attracting those things into their lives. This is why it is so important to consciously choose what you feed your imagination, for it is a direct reflection of what you will experience in life. Imagination is the blueprint of manifestation. Before anything becomes real in the physical world, it first exists as a thought, an idea, or an image in the mind. The most successful people in the world didn't create their achievements by simply working hard. They also spent time imagining the life they wanted to create. They saw their success before it materialized, and this vision guided their actions. By vividly imagining your goals, you are sending a clear message to the universe and to your subconscious mind that these desires are possible. When you create detailed mental images of your success, you are essentially programming yourself for success. One of the most powerful aspects of imagination is its ability to influence emotions. When you vividly imagine something, your body responds as though it is already happening. This emotional engagement is essential in the process of manifestation, because the stronger the emotion attached to an image or thought, the more powerful the signal you send to the subconscious mind. The more real you make the experience in your imagination, the more likely it is to manifest in your life. This is why visualization techniques are so effective. They not only allow you to see your desired outcome, but they also help you feel the emotions associated with it. This emotional connection creates a magnetic force that attracts similar circumstances and opportunities. The key to utilizing your imagination as a creative power is to believe in its potential. You must trust that your imagination is not just a whimsical escape from reality, but a vital tool for creating the life you desire. Believing in the power of your imagination means accepting that the world you see around you is a direct result of what you have created in your mind. This is not to say that everything is under your control, but it does mean that your ability to shape your life is limitless when you use your imagination in a focused, intentional way. The imagination also plays a central role in problem solving. When faced with challenges, many people focus on the problems, the obstacles, and the limitations they face. This mindset only strengthens the sense of struggle. However, when you use your imagination, you have the ability to focus on solutions. You can imagine the outcome you desire and how it will feel to overcome the challenge. This not only puts your mind in a positive state, but it also guides your actions. Imagination opens up new possibilities and perspectives, helping you to see opportunities that were previously hidden. It is also important to recognize that your imagination is a reflection of your self-image. If you do not believe in your worth or abilities, your imagination will not support you in achieving your goals. This is why working on developing a positive self-image is crucial. Your imagination can only take you as far as your belief in yourself. When you start to see yourself as capable, deserving, and worthy of success, your imagination will begin to reflect those qualities. You will start to visualize yourself achieving your goals and living the life you desire, and this vision will become a driving force that propels you forward. The more time you spend nurturing and developing your imagination, the more powerful it becomes. Imagination is a muscle, and like any muscle, it requires practice to strengthen. The more often you engage in visualization, daydreaming and creative thinking, the easier it becomes to access your creative power. Make time each day to visualize your goals, your desires, and the life you want to create. Engage all your senses in the process. See, feel, hear, and experience your desires as though they are already a part of your reality. The more vivid and detailed you make your mental images, the more powerful they become. Your imagination is not just a passive mental exercise, it is your creative power. It is through your imagination that you can shape your reality, create your future, and manifest your deepest desires. When you begin to use your imagination intentionally, with focus and belief, you tap into a source of limitless potential. The life you desire is waiting for you to create it, and the key to unlocking that creation lies within your imagination. The possibilities are endless, and the power is yours. To live in the end is to consciously and deliberately embody the state of having already achieved your desires. It is to fully immerse yourself in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, as if it has already come to pass, rather than waiting for it to happen or wondering when it will manifest. This concept may seem strange to many, but it is the key to unlocking the creative power within you. When you live in the end, you align yourself with the vibration of your goal and naturally attract the circumstances that will bring it into your life. Most people approach their desires from the perspective of lack. They focus on what they don't have or on what they want but don't yet possess. This creates a sense of yearning and longing, and as a result, they continue to attract situations that reinforce the feeling of not having. The key to living in the end is to shift your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. You must shift from thinking about your desires in terms of what you don't have and start living as though you already have them. When you live in the end, you are no longer attached to the idea of wanting, because you know that what you desire is already yours in spirit. The power of living in the end lies in the ability to experience your desires in the present moment. Our minds are often trapped in the past or future, constantly revisiting old memories or projecting into a future that hasn't yet arrived. But the only moment that truly matters is the present. In this moment, you have the power to decide what you focus on and how you choose to feel. If you live in the end, you choose to feel the emotions of having already accomplished your goal. If you desire wealth, for example, you do not wait for it to appear in your bank account. Instead, you begin to feel abundant right now, as if you already have all the money you need. When you feel abundant, you send out a signal to the universe that attracts more abundance, because the universe responds to your vibration, not your circumstances. When you embody the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you activate a powerful creative force within you. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions become aligned with your goal. It is this alignment that creates the conditions for your desires to manifest. By living in the end, you do not waste energy focusing on obstacles or setbacks. Instead, you remain anchored in the knowledge that your desire is already done, and you trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. This trust creates a sense of peace and confidence that allows you to move through life with ease, knowing that your desires are already on their way to you. One of the most important aspects of living in the end is the role of imagination. The mind is a powerful tool, and it is through your imagination that you can experience the end result of your desires. If you want to manifest a new job, for example, you must imagine yourself already in that job. Visualize yourself waking up in the morning, going to work, and experiencing the fulfillment of doing work you love. Feel the excitement, the gratitude, and the joy of having already achieved that goal. Engage all your senses in this mental imagery. See the office, hear the sounds, and experience the emotions of success. The more real and vivid the experience in your imagination, the more it will impress upon your subconscious mind. Your subconscious does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. So when you vividly imagine your desire fulfilled, you are conditioning your mind to believe that it is already yours. Living in the end also involves a shift in how you view challenges and obstacles. When you live in the end, you understand that setbacks are not signs that your desire will never be fulfilled. Instead, they are simply part of the process of manifestation. Everything is working together for your highest good, even if it doesn't appear that way at first. When you encounter difficulties, you do not let them distract you or cause doubt. Instead, you return to the feeling of having your desire fulfilled. If you desire a new home, for instance, and you experience a setback in your search, you do not let that discourage you. You continue to live in the end, knowing that the perfect home is already yours, and that everything is unfolding as it should. To live in the end is also to cultivate patience and trust in the timing of your desires. In our fast-paced world, it is easy to become impatient and frustrated when things don't happen immediately. But when you live in the end, you trust that everything is happening in perfect timing. The universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is always working behind the scenes to bring your desires to fruition. Your job is to remain faithful, to stay aligned with your desire, and to trust that it is already yours. This trust eliminates anxiety and fear, creating space for the manifestation to unfold effortlessly. Now, the power of living in the end also involves living with the knowledge that your external reality is a reflection of your inner state. When you live in the end, you begin to see the world through the lens of abundance, success, and fulfillment. You stop waiting for the world to change before you feel good, and instead you begin to feel good regardless of external circumstances. You understand that the world around you is a mirror, reflecting back to you what you believe and feel about yourself. When you live in the end, you are no longer a victim of circumstances, you are a powerful creator of your own reality. Living in the end requires consistent practice and dedication. It is not enough to occasionally visualize your desires or to occasionally feel good about your goals. To truly embody this mindset, you must make living in the end a daily practice. You must continually remind yourself that your desires are already fulfilled and that the life you want is already yours. This is a practice of faith, trust, and unwavering belief in your creative power. Living in the end is the most powerful way to manifest your desires. It is the act of fully embodying the feeling of your desire already fulfilled and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that state. When you live in the end, you are no longer waiting for things to change, you are living as though they already have. This mindset shift activates the creative power within you and allows your desires to manifest effortlessly. Living in the end requires trust, patience, and a deep belief in the power of your own mind. When you live in the end, you are not just wishing for your dreams to come true, you are creating them right now. Doubt and fear are two of the most powerful emotions that can keep you stuck, prevent you from moving forward, and block the path to your desires. They are subtle, insidious forces that can subtly take control of your mind, leading you to question your abilities, your worth, and even your future. The truth is, both doubt and fear are illusions. They exist only in the mind and are based on past experiences or imagined future outcomes. When you release these emotions, you open the door to limitless possibilities, creativity, and the power to manifest your dreams. At their core, doubt and fear stem from the mind's tendency to focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. When you allow doubt to take root, you begin to question whether your desires are even possible or if you are capable of achieving them. Fear follows closely behind, and it keeps you in a constant state of worry about what might happen, what might not happen, and the potential for failure. This creates a self-fulfilling cycle where the very thoughts you entertain bring about the outcomes you fear the most. Doubt and fear are also closely linked to the ego, which thrives on uncertainty. The ego tries to keep you small, safe, and within the bounds of what is comfortable. It resists change and anything that challenges the status quo. The first step in releasing doubt and fear is to recognize that they are not your truth. You are not your doubts, and you are not your fears. They are simply thoughts that have been allowed to occupy space in your mind. Thoughts are not permanent. They are fleeting, and they only have power over you if you allow them to. The moment you recognize that these thoughts are not who you are, you begin to disempower them. You must learn to separate yourself from the negative thought patterns that have kept you in a state of fear and doubt. Instead of identifying with these emotions, see them as something external to your true self. Another powerful way to release doubt and fear is to focus on the present moment. Most of the fear and doubt we experience is rooted in thoughts about the past or the future. We think about past mistakes, failures, or missed opportunities, and we worry about the future and what might go wrong. But the present moment is where true power lies. In the present moment, you have the ability to choose how you feel and what you focus on. When you bring your attention to the present, you create space for calm, clarity, and confidence. The more you practice staying present, the less power fear and doubt will have over you. When you stop obsessing over what could happen and focus on what is happening right now, you realize that everything is okay. You begin to see that you have all the resources you need in this moment, and that the future will unfold naturally. Another important practice in releasing doubt and fear is the use of positive affirmation and visualization. The mind is incredibly powerful, and it will always believe what you tell it. If you continually tell yourself that you are not capable or that your dreams are impossible, your mind will begin to accept those statements as truth. On the other hand, if you consciously affirm your worth and abilities, you will begin to shift your mindset and let go of the fear and doubt that once held you back. By affirming that you are capable, confident, and deserving of success, you reprogram your subconscious mind to align with those beliefs. The more you affirm these positive truths, the more your actions, emotions, and experiences will begin to reflect them. Visualization is another tool that can help you release fear and doubt. When you visualize your success, you immerse yourself in the feelings and emotions of having already achieved your goal. You create a vivid mental image of the outcome you desire, and you experience it as if it has already happened. The more real and detailed the visualization, the more you impress it upon your subconscious mind. This process helps you to overcome fear by shifting your focus away from the what-ifs and toward the possibility of success. It allows you to create a new, empowering story for yourself, one that is free from doubt and fear. Taking action is also an essential part of releasing doubt and fear. Fear often arises when we remain stagnant or inactive. The longer we sit in doubt and fear, the more they grow. When you take small, consistent steps toward your goals, you begin to build confidence and momentum. Action is the antidote to fear. It is a powerful way to prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Each step you take in the direction of your goals diminishes the power of doubt and fear, because with every action, you build evidence that you are on the right path. Even if you make mistakes or encounter obstacles along the way, you will have taken action, and you will have learned valuable lessons that help you grow stronger. Another critical step in releasing fear and doubt is to trust the process of life. Many times we fear the unknown because we cannot see the full picture. We become anxious about what might happen, and we try to control every outcome. However, life has its own rhythm and flow, and when you trust that things will unfold as they should, you release the need to control every detail. Surrendering to the flow of life is one of the most powerful ways to release fear and doubt. Trust that the universe is always working in your favor, even when you cannot see it. Trust that every experience, whether it appears good or bad, is a stepping stone toward your growth and success. In addition to trust, self-compassion is essential in releasing doubt and fear. Be kind to yourself when you feel afraid or doubtful. Understand that these feelings are a natural part of being human, and they do not define you. Instead of berating yourself for feeling fear or doubt, offer yourself love and encouragement. Remind yourself that it is okay to have moments of uncertainty, but that you are capable of overcoming them. The more you practice self-compassion, the less you will identify with these negative emotions, and the more you will be able to move through them with ease. Remember that doubt and fear are often rooted in past experiences or imagined scenarios. They are not predictions of your future, they are simply stories your mind tells you. By releasing these old stories and creating new empowering beliefs, you free yourself to live the life you deserve. Releasing doubt and fear is a continuous process, but it is a necessary one if you want to step into your full potential and embrace the limitless possibilities that await you. When you let go of fear and doubt, you make space for faith, confidence, and the power to create your desired reality. The 72-hour window is a concept that can significantly impact how we approach our goals, dreams, and even life changes. It's a time frame that is short enough to create a sense of urgency, yet long enough to allow for real transformation and results. The power of this 72-hour window lies in its ability to propel us into action, shift our mindset, and solidify new habits or manifestations. It is within these 72 hours that the subconscious mind is most receptive, and the actions you take within this period can often determine whether you succeed or fail in bringing about the changes you desire. Many people fail to realize the importance of acting quickly when it comes to manifesting desires or creating new results. The longer we wait to take action, the more likely we are to doubt ourselves, lose motivation, or allow external circumstances to influence our decisions. Procrastination can become a powerful enemy that weakens our resolve and delays the realization of our dreams. The 72-hour window is a tool that allows us to bypass hesitation, sidestep fear, and embrace the momentum of immediate action. When you make the decision to act within this time frame, you are asserting your power over the situation, and you send a strong message to the universe that you are ready to receive. The initial 72-hour window after setting an intention or making a decision is critical because it's when your mind is most aligned with your desire. In these first few hours, your thoughts and emotions are fresh, and the energy you put forth is potent. During this time, your subconscious is most impressionable, meaning that if you act decisively and confidently, you're creating powerful momentum toward your goal. If you wait, however, the energy can dissipate, and the doubts and fears that naturally arise will begin to take over. These doubts, even if subtle, can disrupt the manifestation process, weakening your resolve and making it more difficult to take inspired action. When you commit to a decision and move forward within 72 hours, you are essentially taking control of your destiny. The 72-hour window is all about momentum. Just a few days of focused, determined action can put you on the path toward a new reality. It is during this period that you can start seeing changes, making progress, and feeling the positive results of your efforts. This window helps you stay motivated and ensures that you are not left in a state of confusion or indecision. Once the 72-hour window has passed, it's easy to fall back into old patterns and doubts. Therefore, taking immediate action is essential to solidifying the decision and creating the reality you desire. One of the main reasons why the 72-hour window works so powerfully is that it taps into the principle of momentum. Momentum is a force that, once set in motion, keeps us moving forward with little effort. When we take immediate action, even if it's just a small step, we create a spark that ignites further action. This can snowball into greater progress and eventually result in significant change. The key to making the most of this window is to start small but start quickly. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the right conditions, just take action. It doesn't have to be a massive move. What matters is that you move in the direction of your goal without delay. Another important aspect of the 72-hour window is the power of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is constantly working behind the scenes, processing information and influencing your behavior. When you make a decision and take action within 72 hours, you are sending a clear signal to your subconscious mind that this is important and that you are serious about your desires. This sends a strong message to the universe that you are open and ready to receive. By acting quickly, you bypass the mental chatter and doubt that often arise when we linger too long. You're allowing your mind to focus on what you want, not on what you fear or doubt. In addition to harnessing the power of momentum and your subconscious mind, the 72-hour window is also important because it challenges your willpower and commitment. It tests your resolve and whether or not you're truly ready to make the changes necessary to achieve your desires. The initial steps you take in this short window require courage and faith, as it often feels uncomfortable to step into the unknown. Yet this discomfort is a signal that you are growing, expanding, and moving closer to the life you envision. Once you push through the resistance in the first 72 hours, it becomes easier to continue taking action in the days and weeks that follow. The 72-hour window also works because it minimizes the impact of external distractions and influences. When we are clear on our desires and focused on what we want to achieve, the world around us can often feel overwhelming. We may be bombarded with messages, opinions, and events that pull our attention away from our goals. However, by focusing on taking action within the first 72 hours, we bypass external noise and distractions. This time is crucial for ensuring that you stay on track and make decisions that align with your higher purpose, not with outside influences that may lead you astray. Taking action within the 72-hour window also activates your sense of urgency. Urgency is not about rushing or making hasty decisions, but rather about recognizing the importance of moving forward with purpose and clarity. It pushes you to stop waiting for things to happen and instead to create your reality by acting on your intentions. The feeling of urgency brings clarity to your actions and forces you to eliminate indecision, which is often the result of overthinking or fearing the unknown. By embracing urgency, you are telling yourself that you are worthy of achieving your desires and that you are willing to do whatever it takes to bring them into fruition. The law of assumption is one of the most profound and transformative concepts when it comes to creating the life you desire. It is based on the premise that whatever you assume to be true becomes your reality. This is not just about positive thinking or wishful imagining. It's a deep understanding that the world around you is a reflection of your inner assumptions and beliefs. The law of assumption states that what you believe to be true, what you assume as your reality, must manifest in your life. This is a law of the mind, one that influences everything from your relationships to your career to your health. At its core, the law of assumption teaches that your assumptions, whether they are conscious or subconscious, have the power to shape your reality. It's not about what you consciously want or desire, but about what you truly believe deep down to be true about yourself and the world. When you assume something to be true, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions to support that assumption. The universe then responds by bringing circumstances, people, and events into your life that mirror those beliefs. One of the key aspects of the law of assumption is that it works whether you are aware of it or not. It's constantly at play in your life. Every belief you hold, every assumption you make about your worth, your potential, your capabilities, and your future is creating the conditions of your life. The external world is nothing more than a reflection of your internal assumptions. If you assume that success is difficult or unattainable, the world will continue to show you evidence that supports this belief. On the other hand, if you assume that success is inevitable and easily accessible, you will begin to see opportunities and circumstances that support this new belief. The law of assumption suggests that all experiences are first created in the mind before they manifest in the physical world. When you assume a particular state of being, you move into that state mentally and emotionally, which then translates into physical manifestation. For example, if you assume that you are wealthy, you begin to think, feel, and act as someone who is wealthy. You will start to see opportunities for financial growth where you once saw none. You will make decisions from the mindset of abundance, and this alignment will eventually lead to the physical manifestation of wealth. The key is that you must assume the end result as already being true. You don't wait for the physical evidence to show up before you assume it. Instead, you create that evidence through your assumption and belief. This principle of assumption is not about forcing things into existence or pretending that something is true when it isn't. It is about aligning yourself with the truth that you choose to live. And when you assume the reality you desire, you are essentially closing the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Your assumption is the bridge between your present circumstances and your desired outcome. It is not a matter of wishing or hoping. It's about claiming your desired reality and acting as if it is already yours. The beauty of the law of assumption is that it applies to all areas of life. It is not limited to one's financial situation or material possessions. It applies to relationships, health, career, and personal growth. Whatever it is that you desire, you must assume that it is already yours. This assumption is not about waiting for the perfect circumstances or the right time. It's about assuming that your desires have already been fulfilled. When you assume the end result, your mind and actions begin to align with that reality, and the universe responds in kind. This law requires a shift in thinking, particularly in the way you approach challenges. When you face difficulties or obstacles, instead of assuming failure or defeat, you must assume success. You must assume that the solution is already in place and that the outcome will be favorable. This assumption creates a sense of confidence and certainty, even in the face of uncertainty. It's important to recognize that challenges are not signs of failure, but opportunities for growth that will only strengthen your belief in the assumption of success. Another essential aspect of the law of assumption is that it requires persistence and consistency. It's not enough to simply assume your desires once and then wait for them to manifest. You must live in that assumption every day, continuously reaffirming it in your thoughts, feelings, and actions. When doubts arise, you must reaffirm your assumption, even if the evidence in the physical world contradicts it. The more you persist in your assumption, the more it becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind, which is the true creator of your reality. When you assume your desired reality, you are also practicing faith. Faith in the law of assumption is not about blind belief, but about knowing that your assumptions are the key to unlocking your desired outcome. It is the trust that what you assume in your mind will eventually be reflected in your outer world. This faith is not passive, it requires active participation through thought, emotion, and action. By living from the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you begin to see the world differently. You no longer see obstacles as roadblocks, but as part of the process leading you to your desired outcome. The law of assumption also involves letting go of doubt and disbelief. The power of your assumption is only as strong as your belief in it. If you hold on to doubts or negative beliefs, you weaken the force of your assumption and delay your manifestation. To truly harness the power of this law, you must be willing to let go of limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering assumptions that align with your desires. This process requires mental discipline and a deep commitment to living in alignment with your highest self. The law of assumption is a powerful tool for transforming your life. It teaches that what you assume to be true about yourself and the world will become your reality. By assuming the end result of your desires, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions to manifest that reality. The more you live in this assumption, the more it becomes your truth, and the universe responds accordingly. The law of assumption is a reminder that you are the creator of your own reality, and that the power to shape your life lies within your thoughts and beliefs. Through persistence, faith, and a willingness to embrace the power of assumption, you can transform your life and bring your dreams into being. Your world is a mirror, reflecting back the inner state of your mind. Every circumstance, situation, and relationship you encounter is a direct reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings you hold within. This concept is central to understanding how reality operates and how you can shape your life. The world around you is not random, nor is it something that simply happens to you. It is a direct result of your inner state of being, the energy you emit, and the assumptions you make about yourself, others, and life in general. If you want to change your world, the key is not to focus on altering external conditions, but to transform your inner world first. The principle that your outer world reflects your inner state is grounded in the idea that everything in the universe operates in harmony. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not isolated, they interact with the energy around you, creating the circumstances and experiences you encounter. The universe responds to the vibration you emit. This vibration is the energy that comes from your mental and emotional state. If your inner world is filled with negativity, doubt, or fear, that energy is projected outward, attracting similar energies and experiences. On the other hand, when your inner world is aligned with positivity, peace, and confidence, your outer world begins to reflect those qualities. This dynamic process can be seen in many aspects of life. For instance, if you believe that you are worthy of love, respect, and success, you begin to act and think in ways that reflect that belief. As a result, you attract relationships and opportunities that mirror your inner belief in your own worth. If, however, you believe that you are unworthy or incapable of achieving your goals, the universe will reflect these assumptions by presenting you with experiences that reinforce your doubts. The circumstances you encounter are not random, they are a reflection of what you hold to be true inside. Our subconscious mind plays a crucial role in shaping our inner state. The subconscious mind absorbs everything we experience. Even if we are not consciously aware of it, it holds our deeply ingrained beliefs, attitudes, and memories, which govern how we perceive the world. These beliefs then dictate our actions, emotions, and reactions. For example, if you have a subconscious belief that money is scarce or difficult to come by, your actions will align with this belief, and you will find yourself constantly struggling or facing financial difficulties. Conversely, if your subconscious mind is aligned with abundance and prosperity, you will notice opportunities and circumstances that support this belief. The law of attraction is closely tied to the idea that your world reflects your inner state. What you focus on, whether it is positive or negative, expands in your life. When you focus on scarcity or lack, you reinforce those feelings, and the universe responds by bringing more experiences that reflect those beliefs. Likewise, when you focus on abundance, gratitude, and possibilities, your world begins to shift to reflect those thoughts and feelings. Your outer world is essentially a mirror image of your inner world, and by shifting your inner state, you can change the experiences that manifest in your life. To change your world, you must begin by changing your inner state. This requires a deep awareness of your thoughts and feelings and a willingness to transform them. The process begins with identifying limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns that may be keeping you stuck. Once you become aware of these patterns, you can replace them with more empowering beliefs that align with the reality you wish to create. For example, if you have a belief that success is difficult to achieve, you can shift that belief to one that affirms that success is inevitable and accessible to you. By repeating this new belief and living in alignment with it, your world will gradually reflect this change. Another important aspect of changing your inner state is managing your emotions. Emotions are a powerful form of energy that influence the vibration you emit. When you experience negative emotions such as fear, anger, or frustration, your energy becomes blocked, and your outer world reflects that imbalance. On the other hand, positive emotions like joy, love, and gratitude create an open flow of energy, allowing you to attract experiences that align with these positive feelings. Learning to regulate your emotions, to shift from negative feelings to more empowering ones, is essential to transforming your outer world. Visualization is a powerful tool that can help align your inner state with your desired reality. When you visualize your goals and desires as already fulfilled, you are training your subconscious mind to accept this as your reality. By vividly imagining the life you want, you send a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive it. Visualization helps to create a strong inner belief in your own potential, and as you hold this image in your mind, your outer world begins to shift in alignment with it. Affirmations also play a key role in transforming your inner state. By repeating positive affirmations, you reprogram your subconscious mind to accept new beliefs that are in harmony with your desired reality. Affirmations work by reinforcing positive thoughts and replacing limiting beliefs. When you repeat affirmations consistently, you begin to embody the thoughts and feelings associated with those statements, and your outer world begins to reflect those changes. For example, if you affirm, "I am successful," and success comes easily to me, your subconscious mind begins to accept this as your truth, and your actions and experiences start to mirror this belief. The power of gratitude cannot be underestimated in shifting your inner state. Gratitude is one of the most powerful vibrations you can emit, as it aligns you with abundance and positivity. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you elevate your energy and begin to attract more things to be grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking in your life to what is already abundant, creating a positive feedback loop that attracts more abundance. As you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, your inner state becomes aligned with the abundance of the universe. and your world begins to reflect that alignment. Your world is a reflection of your inner state. The beliefs, thoughts, and emotions you hold within shape your outer reality. To transform your life, you must first transform your inner world. By becoming aware of your beliefs, managing your emotions, and using tools like visualization, affirmations, and gratitude, you can shift your inner state to align with the reality you desire. Your outer world will inevitably begin to mirror this shift, and you will find yourself experiencing new opportunities, relationships, and circumstances that reflect your inner transformation. The key to creating the life you want is to recognize that the power lies within you, and that by changing your thoughts and emotions you can change your reality.